This is what you've been missing out on the whole time, Lyndon.
It's like when someone puts on glasses for the first time.
It's like those
See all
YouTube
the
videos. Yeah. And, or like with the kids who have like the hearing aids.
Right.
You know, and they're like, "Hi, honey," and they're like, "Oh."
Yeah. It's like baby hears its mother's voice for the first time.
Yeah.
That was me just now.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Mission Stories. This is Troy Cooper. I'm here with Lyndon Naglis. This is a podcast where we talk about weird, interesting, cool, funny. Can we talk about heartwarming things yet, or no?
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe, I don't know if we come around to it.
We've been ones to do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Often.
I'm not here to...
If we warm someone's heart, God bless us.
Let hearts be warmed. Yeah, welcome to the podcast. It's a beautiful Saturday day. Lyndon's all dressed up. Okay, I gotta say this. You look a little bit like Mickey Mouse from the waist down. He's wearing red shorts with like black tights on. Okay, they're capris, black capris.
Yeah.
And just because I can't see like from the desk, my angle, I can't see like the bottom, so it just looks. I see red shorts plus the black legs, and you look like Mickey Mouse.
And might I add, you look like Mickey Mouse from the waist up. Because you're wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt.
I forgot about that. I looked down and remembered that I was wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt, and I am.
I thought you were just leading me into that.
I really wasn't. I just like observed that it's exactly the same. I hope all of you are doing well. We're doing good. I think Lyndon's. How are you doing, Lyndon?
Well, as I mentioned, my drive here was atrocious.
Why was it atrocious?
It took me 40 minutes.
Why though?
Well, it's like this drive was like a microcosm of my life. Where it's like...
So it's going great.
Where I'm just like, okay, time to hop on to Crowchild, drive to Troy's house.
Yeah.
The most direct route.
Yeah.
Except that there's massive construction. And so I drive... And I should have just avoided it altogether and taken the alternative route. Instead, I get onto Crowchild and I'm like, okay, we got to leave. We got to leave and head to 14th Street. But I'm already committed. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, oh, then if I turn here, I'm going to have to wait, so I might as well just keep going. No. Yeah. And then I get to the next one, and then I'm like, well, now I should probably just hop onto Memorial.
This is riveting.
But I'm no, I'm in the right lane still. So then I got to like turn left onto something else.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, I never should have gone this way in the first place. And all my decisions, my contingencies on contingencies were always the wrong ones.
That's so interesting. So let's link this back to your life at large now.
Because in the end,
what's the connection? We
all get to where we were going to be. But if you make poor decisions, you'll be miserable the whole time.
And it'll take longer to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here I am.
I learned nothing from that. So how's your life now? Should we just talk about your life this episode? Because we kind of talked about life lead, from the mission, finding out about your brain tumor until now. Let's talk about from then till now.
Let's just stick to the mission stories.
All right, we'll stick to mission stories. Well, I'm glad you're here, Lyndon. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad you're safe. Because you could have died on the way here.
Safe and sound.
Safe and sound, and you sound good. We should mention you have headphones now. You haven't had headphones this whole time.
No.
I have had headphones, and I just remember, we have the capacity to have two headphones now. And so you get to listen to this as we're speaking. Mm-hmm. How do you like them?
It reminds me of playing Halo.
Yeah. With
my gaming headset. That's why you notice I put my cap on backwards.
Yeah.
I find historically it's the most comfortable way to wear headphones.
It's a better fit, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you look part of the team now, and you got your Mickey Mouse pants on, and I got my Mickey Mouse shirt on.
We're the 1-2 punch.
We're the 1-2 punch. Welcome to the podcast. We're the 1-2 punch. So we got some things to talk about today.
Yeah.
Sorry, whenever I move this, it makes a sound. I apologize. But we have things to talk about. Yesterday was the Film Fest, the Calgary YSA Film Fest.
Yep.
We had made a movie sequel to the sort of series of sketches that we made called Mission Stories. This is the 4th iteration of these, and it was shown to everybody. And I don't know, how do you think it went?
I think it went well. Caleb's first comment immediately was like, "That's the music from the podcast." I was like, "Well, actually, the music from the podcast is the music from the sketches." But
yeah, and then it goes back. So it's cool. Yeah, like people seem to have this like, one of our very faithful listeners, Tanner. He was like, as soon as I heard that music, I was just like triggered in a good way. You know.
a positive triggering.
Yeah. It is. I like it. It's such a good little. I just love it. Every time I hear it, I have good feelings, good thoughts. We should.
Praise be to the man who composed that.
That was me, everybody. That was me. We have some emails, and one of our emails is sort of related to the thing yesterday, the film fest.
Film festival.
The film festival. It's from our listener, faithful listener Nathan Thompson. It's a long email, and I haven't read it all yet, and I hope it doesn't. I don't know what this is. We might edit it out later, like we are wont to do. But what do you think? Should I just read this and we can discuss it?
Power through it.
Hi, Troy and Lyndon. I love the podcast! ! Hey, thanks. We love you. As requested. Oh, right. I'll be posting a scathing review on iTunes as soon as I figure out how. I'm afraid. We should know. Maybe this is a time to note as well that like we've had a few like 1-star reviews. Like most of them are 5-star, but we've had a couple 1-star reviews
with no
review. Yeah, no.
Just drop a 1-star.
They're just like, screw you guys, 1-star.
I guess we got to read that over. No.
Yeah. So anyway, that makes me feel bad every time I look at that. Anyway, so it continues on, but this letter is in regards to the film you, mostly Troy, made for the YSA Film Festival. I would like to commend Troy for the excellent film. Hey, thanks. It had a compelling narrative, strong cinematography, great editing, and an interesting character arc. After the festival, I thought to myself, what was the meaning of the film? Lyndon, do you think this film had a meaning?
Yeah.
It felt a little like heavier than previous films.
Yeah, I think I gotta mention that earlier, where I was like, your conclusion to your story arc was kind of dark.
Yeah.
It was kind of very much, I think we discussed previously, cosmic nihilism and existential nihilism in our good favorite shows, Rick and Morty and BoJack Horseman.
Yeah.
I think we kind of took a page from that.
Yeah, it was interesting. I kind of, it was a little bit of like art imitating life as I sort of, this past year have been, looking into, things, and I've had my questions, and it's just like the answer sort of sometimes just comes down to like, you don't know everything. What can you do? Just move on. So that was, it was a bit of a, and I like, as I was watching it in the theater with everybody, I was like, oh, this is getting kind of heavy.
I mean, you directly quoted Rick Sanchez in the film.
Oh, what's the quote?
Just don't think about it.
That's right. Also, Don Draper. He's a big don't think about it guy.
Right.
So anyway, the email continues. This film starts with Lyndon's character selling. So in this film, Lyndon, you're like this. You're a skis ball. I made you a skis ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a dramatized version of our actual selves.
Yeah, because you are in fact a skis ball. You're not a skis ball.
Well, no, the dramatized version of me.
Right. But you are highly charismatic.
Well, thank you.
And hey, he said charismatically. People, you do have that ability. Like this, it really isn't like a big stretch to think that you'd be able to like convince a bunch of people to go buy a made up cryptocurrency. So the film starts with Lyndon's character selling Troy's character a bunch of Book of Mormon knickknacks. Theo is unsuccessfully trying to convince Troy of all of Lyndon's Book of Mormon stuff is fake. Lyndon even tries to get Troy to buy into Kirtland coin, a blatant allusion to the original Kirtland coin, a.k.a. Kirtland Safety Society Bank. Obviously, Troy is the personification of the Mormon stereotype. Interesting. Troy leaves all the confusion and begins to earnestly search for truth on the internet, source of all knowledge, in brackets. As Troy looks into church history, he stumbles across a shocking LDS church-produced video that Troy can't believe, shaking the very core of his belief in the church.
I thought it was faith-affirming.
My interpretation of that was that, like, I don't know what's going on, and I don't want to, like, this is a strange little thing, and I don't want to.
I think it was very open to interpretation.
I don't want to get into it. So, yeah, I like that there are other interpretations of it.
Because it is a parody of like an actual Mormon story, isn't it?
That's a true story. That's 100% true.
Joseph F. Smith coming back from Hawaii and the ruffians.
Yeah.
Did they make it into a Mormon story, or is it just something we read?
It is. Yeah. I went on YouTube to check it out to see if they had done this, and they took all of the like swearing out of it. That, you know, it has been told, like the story's been told. I think M. Russell Ballard's the guy who I've heard told the story sort of famously.
Okay.
And he says, you know, like, aren't you the blankety blankest Mormon I ever did meet? And so the idea was, you know, sort of like expand on that in a comedic way. But the church produced video doesn't do any of the swearing. It's all sort of, well, aren't you the nicest Mormon I ever met? Shake. Like to see a man stand up for his convictions. So anyway, the email continues. Troy, so after shaking the very core of his belief in the church, Troy shuts all his church books and leaves all of his research behind. The disillusioned Troy joins Theo, who is watching Lyndon sell the Kirtland coin to the naive masses. Now, Troy clearly sees Lyndon's manipulations of faith for personal gain, the literal definition of priestcraft. Here's what I got out of the film. Lyndon represents Joseph Smith as Lyndon is selling the Book of Mormon. Holy cow. Founded a speculative illegal currency and developed a devoted following. Theo characteristically represents common sense and pragmatism. Was your film telling the story of a young man's journey into apostasy? If so, I think it's diabolic and brilliant. I would also like to add, if this is the case, I'm deeply offended. Your true and faithful accountant, Nathan Thompson. Wow. That was an interesting... it's like, geez, I hope... it's interesting. I don't know. What do you think, Lyndon? What do you think of all this?
Well, I kind of expect this from Nathan. Mm-hmm. He's the guy that tells us to shut up during movies.
True.
Because he's trying to formulate these close analysis.
Yeah. What an analysis that was.
Yeah.
Interesting.
My first take right off the bat is, I guess I'd say, yeah, he's 100% right. Until I gather more evidence to counter his analysis, spot on.
Right. It's interesting. Like, I think for me, I was just trying to make a funny thing with some like, because here's the thing, like what never made it into the video was this bit that Theo and I had written before, where, you know, because, you know, there's some questions about where did the Book of Mormon take place, and then the skit would kind of go as was in the film, which is like, why is it so confusing? Why is it so unclear? And then cut to Book of Mormon times, Moroni carving in the plates, and he's like, I now bury these in the hill Shim, and the land looks around, doesn't quite know where he is. Northward? Yeah, northward. This shouldn't cause any problems. And then, you know, cut back. So
why did you take that bit out? I thought it was funny.
It was funny. Honestly, it just came down to, like, it was hard to film. And the guy who I wanted to film it with just... the
guy he cast as Moroni.
Seemed... no, he seemed like he was down, but I was sort of in the thick of editing, and it was sort of coming down to the wire, and I was just like, I'd rather skip it.
We could have got Michael to play Moroni.
We could have. It would have made no sense, though, because it's like, that's Michael from the other ones. Michael wasn't in it. He usually is. He was in. I thought he was in Edmonton, and it all kind of happened at last minute, to be honest. But this is like a little deconstruction portion. Just talking about the short.
A good report gonna do an episode on mission stories?
That would be fun. That would be interesting.
Well, we're already doing it.
We're already doing it. It's already done. Sorry of good report. So anyway, great email. Next email, these ones are shorter, I believe. Here we go. Actually, I'll say that one for last. This one's from Josh Langstaff. He used our little form on the website to submit this email. Remember, everyone, we have a website, themissionstoriespodcast.com. Check it out. I mean, you don't have to. It just sort of leads you to like how to listen to the podcast, but that's okay. Here's what he says. From a true and faithful, Deadpool 2 rocked my collective Argyle socks. Hashtag the prophet give you my blessings. P.S. Can't give you a 5-star review. Just going to roast you. Both your horrific voices have plagued my ears. It was a pleasure to listen to an actual voice for radio. Emma. Great. Thanks, Josh. And shout out to Emma Houghton. She's just sitting over there watching something on the computer. And then the final one is from Alex Williams. He says, first, I think it would be good if we started bringing more attention to the Book of Mormon being, quote, another testament of Jesus Christ. With how God works, because this is a question we posted last episode.
That's right.
How does God work? I want to talk about this a little bit more today. With how God works, well, agency is pretty important. We are allowed to fail. We are allowed to succeed. Yep, well, this is awkward. Nah, I don't have an answer for you. Sorry. And then he gives one of those like emojis with like the like, ooh, kind of face. And then a kiss-blowing heart, true and faithful Alex. No one wants to get into it. He doesn't want to weigh in.
He started, and then he's just like, it's too heavy.
He lost his courage. I got some thoughts about this, Lyndon.
Are we getting into it?
Maybe not. We have some more, a few more like items, and then, I don't know, and then we'll do other things, I guess. Lyndon, a few weeks ago, we had an email from a person who wrote erotic fan fiction. Do you remember that?
Do I remember some erotic fan fiction?
Mm-hmm.
Remind me.
So we got let me read it real quick. So yeah, we got an email. Erotic fan fiction. Someone like wrote a whole thing about you and I making love.
Oh, that's right. The thing people keep asking me to show them.
Yeah.
And I won't.
So you've had a lot of responses to that.
Yeah. A few people have been like, what is it? Who wrote it? I need answers. And I'm like, that was so 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Forget about it. And here's the thing. We did promise to tell you all who it was the following week, but I forgot.
We got too into it.
Yeah. We did get into it. We'll talk about that.
There was
too.
like 40 minutes of unscripted podcasting that happened.
That's right. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But first, maybe we should wait till the end of the episode to tell who. Now we'll just tell right now.
Big reveal.
The person who wrote this is named Theo Gibb.
That's right.
Bum, bum, bum. The person I do a podcast with about Mormon films, Theo Gibb, the little rascally rabbit.
The one who represents sense and reason in...
I know. He's got a dark side. And
the representative of pragmatism and reason and logic.
Yeah.
Also writes homoerotic fan fiction on the side.
Homoerotic fan fiction. So hopefully there's more of that to come. You all can just be shocked and amazed by that, and we'll just move on, I guess. Like you said, we talked a lot about polygamy last episode. I thought it was a good discussion.
I think so.
Listening back to it, I was like, this is interesting stuff. Mm-hmm. We're really getting into it. We're really cutting the cheese. Is that? No.
We're really dipping our oars into the river.
Thought you were going to say something else. We're dipping oars into the river. We're moving down the river of knowledge. Here's the thing. We got a message from someone, a listener, who was a little upset with how we handled Elizabeth Smart specifically. I think the insinuation that was made was that we thought she had Stockholm syndrome. From the account of how she was found by police who, were like, "Hi, is this you?" And she's like, "No, it's not me." move along. And so anyway, it took a couple of tries, and then she admitted that it was her and that she was in trouble and that she needed help. And then we just sort of assumed she had Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, I'm for the most part ignorant of the details of that story.
Yeah, I am too. And this is to say sorry to anyone who was offended by any mishandling of. Obviously, it is sensitive. It's a sensitive subject and a sensitive story. And anyone who was offended, we sincerely apologize. We don't, we're not experts. We don't claim to be. And we're just talking about stuff.
And if you want to make reparations, go buy her new book she just released.
A new book?
Yeah.
What's that? What's this one about?
I don't know. It's Elizabeth Smart. She made another one.
About the same thing?
I think about how she's doing I don't know.
Much better. Let's move on from this before I...
We're going to start talking about her new book like we have any idea what's in it.
So anyway, we apologize, and please be patient with us. We're just two dudes talking about missions.
I did get some feedback from a new true and faithful listener.
Oh, who? Tell me.
And I was just going to tell you this, off the record.
Yep.
But I'm going to do it on the record.
All right.
I want your live reaction.
Good.
And here's what they said. They said, I don't like it when Troy swears on the podcast.
Oh, snap.
Undercuts your credibility, your professionalism.
What am I doing swear-wise?
I think you dropped some swears in episode 2 or 3.
What did I say?
I don't know.
The B word? The C word?
Probably the D word.
The D word. All
Not
right.
that they're offended by swearing.
Damn? Is that the one they're thinking of?
Yeah, but
Okay.
that it...
I don't... Okay. That's fair. Who was this? Do we have...
Did Walter Cronkite ever swear?
No. Well, maybe he did.
But
Not on mic.
We assume not.
He didn't start his evening broadcasts with a stream of expletives.
Also...
Well, I'm sorry for swearing,
And that's not the
guys.
only... Don't apologize.
There's more.
Our good
There we
friend and true enemy, Alex Williams,
Uh-huh.
when he was telling me he's going to make a new podcast,
A new one.
he's like, it's going to be like
Swearing.
yours. It's going to be like ours, but with swearing and less blasphemy. And I took offense to that because we do have some swearing and no blasphemy.
So he was making a joke
Yeah, he was making a
about
joke.
how we're highly blasphemous. And I swear from time
But
to
he
time. I
I
don't
said no swearing. They said they're going to have more swearing.
More swearing, okay.
So I thought it was interesting.
Is he being serious? Or is he being jestful?
It's Alex Williams.
So who can know?
Who can know?
Who can really know? Well, guys,
So
I'm sorry.
Well, that's my question.
Am I sorry?
Maybe they want more. Or maybe they want less.
Here's the thing, guys. I'm just a person. I'm just a guy, and we're just telling stories. And I don't know. Sometimes I say damn. Sometimes I say hell. And hell is a place. And Brigham Young said hell, and I'm pretty sure he might have said damn once or twice. I'm swearing more this episode than any other episode.
Well, we're on the subject.
We're on the subject of swearing. So anyway, I do apologize, but again, just I don't know. Be patient. It's okay. Imperfect people.
It's a good question, though.
If you want to take a look at an imperfect person who did some pretty impressive things, go take a look at our first prophet, Joseph Smith. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious, though. Take a look. So anyway...
But swearing has its place.
I think...
It's only meant to be used when it's needed.
Yeah. No, and I agree with that. So I'm going to try to not to swear, damn it. As we were saying, any other feedback? Any other?
There's Papa Naglis.
The Papa.
I was impressed. We released that episode Sunday night or something.
Yeah.
And it's I woke up Monday morning to text messages about it. Mm-hmm. And then my dad comes over Monday morning and he's just he's like, you got it all wrong, Mr. Polygamy Tax Specialist. And I was like, what are you talking about?
What? I'm asleep.
He's like, the podcast.
You wake up, he's over your bed, just looking at you.
Basically.
Yeah.
And he's just you got it all wrong. You can't just split your income among all your different wives. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I thought this is all theoretical because polygamy is illegal.
Yeah.
But you confirmed if it was legal, You couldn't just split your income with all your wives.
Not your personal income, no. Your personal income is yours. It's yours personally. If you had a corporation, you could theoretically, you could split dividends to shareholders if you made your wives shareholders.
Well, I mean, if you're running a polygamous family, wouldn't you just incorporate?
You might. They probably do. I think that they do, actually. I know that they have companies. I don't know if they give their wives or children any sort of stake in. There's no way they make them a director or a shareholder. There's too many rights involved with that, presumably, unless they're just a good polygamist. Here I am assuming all polygamists are bad.
I don't know. All I know is that was some feedback.
Maybe the TLC polygamist does give dividends to his wives and children. How many kids does he have now?
I've never seen the show.
Okay. Well, probably quite a few. So that's maybe we should shout out our accountant. Stoke the fire.
Well, I don't think accountants are even the true and faithful anymore. I think it's the engineers.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Accountants no longer the true and faithful. Now the engineers are.
But then Nathan did email us, and so that's a big point on the accountant side.
Big account side. So
the engineers have not been emailing us, except for Theo.
And what an email that was. That's worth 2 points, I think. That one. All right. Well, that's all our emails this week, and that's all the corrections. Do we have any other?
If a true and faithful accountant could give us a full, detailed analysis of the tax implications of legalized polygamy, we'd love that.
We'd love to read a long email about that on the air.
Just for my personal reading, really.
Yeah. Lyndon's personal reading. Put it on his iPad. Did you want to talk about masonry? You had a thing like weeks ago, and you're like, I have a topical topic, masonry.
Well, just because now, as I avoid Crowchild, driving to your house, I often drive down 12th Ave, one of the most underrated avenues in the city. I love me some 12th Ave. And you know what's on 12th Ave?
What's that?
Calgary's little masonry hall. Mason Hall. Mason Lodge?
A lodge.
Not a hall.
I think it's a lodge, yeah.
They do lodges.
Yeah.
And it made me remember the first time I learned about Masons.
Where was that?
On my mission.
How far into your mission were you?
Well, I was aware that Masons existed because, my great-grandfather was a Mason. He was a Mason. Not a Mormon, but a Mason.
Yeah.
And then The Simpsons had that episode
Stonecutters.
The Stonecutters.
Who keeps the Martians under wraps?
We do.
We do. Yeah.
Right. And so that was like a parody of the Masons.
Yeah.
So you become vaguely aware that, they're making a joke on the Masons in that episode.
Yeah.
But then you just thought they're a weird secret society.
Yeah.
And then you get on the mission and someone's like, Mormons and Masons. And I was like, what's the connection? I was like, I don't get it. Why would someone bring that up with me? And my companion is just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to look into this.
Yeah.
And so then, of course, the mission library, our list of approved books.
There's four or five.
Yeah.
At the time, 2008, 2009. Yeah.
It was like M. Russell Ballard's book, Jesus the Christ.
Jesus the Christ.
Man's Path to Happiness or something.
No.
That's M. Russell Ballard.
It's...
that was one of them.
Is it?
Yeah.
I got the books in the other room. Or maybe they're right here. Nope.
Anyways, there's very few.
Yeah.
Jesus the Christ. True to the Faith. No, True to the Faith.
That's the Ballard one.
I don't know.
Is it? I don't know.
No. Point is, I read
too long.
I read those, and then I was like, I read those in the MTC basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I would just.
You read Jesus the Christ in the MTC?
No, that one I read in my second transfer.
I still have not finished that book.
Well, you got to step up.
Sorry.
Maybe he brings up Masonry. Well, then I also read Mormon Doctrine, The True Stick of Bruce.
Yes.
When I was 14. So he definitely had a section on Masons in there.
Oh, yeah. What does he say about it in there? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay.
That was actually back to the Mission Stories 4 quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you were like made that little bit on Mormon Doctrine.
Oh, they loved it.
People were just eating that up.
They loved it. The bit is that, and you can go watch. We'll put this on the website, the new movie. But the bit is that like my exaggerated version of myself is trying to find locations where the Book of Mormon may have happened, and I'm using the Mormon doctrine to do that. And I'm like, wow, lots of good stuff in here. And then I'm like flipping through, and I'm like, some good stuff in here. And I'm like, okay, we don't need to look. It's like this is full of some strange things, some controversial stuff in there.
Yeah, and
people loved it.
People were laughing and chuckling.
They
I was
were
like,
chuckling.
good.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
I was so glad. Yeah, I wasn't sure that was gonna work.
But anyways,
But it did.
So I'd always send book lists back to my mother.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was aware of that there was an approved reading list for missionaries. She just knew that her righteous, faithful son wanted these church books.
Of course.
And she would send them to me. And so one of them was Mormons and Masons, setting the record straight.
That like little black book.
Oh yeah, that little series of books.
Yeah.
Famous for setting nothing straight.
It literally just like sort of reviews the topic and then like that's it.
Yeah. But I read that on my mission and I was like, all right, perfect. Now I know.
Did you learn any what fun facts, insights, or?
Because I just remember bringing it up with my companion, being like, "Can you believe this?" And they're like, "Eh." And it was never a concern for any investigator ever, so it just became like a non-issue.
Yeah, it's interesting. Masonry. I don't know.
Did you read any other? What was your mission library? Your illicit secret library?
My illicit secret library was all like printed documents that like people would give me.
Oh.
So I had this thing that was like, I think it's called Day of Defense.
Ooh.
And it's where this person he wrote this book. First, what he did is he compiled a bunch of scriptures to sort of fight, sort of naysayers' comments about any number of things with Mormonism. And so he has all these scriptures. And then what he did is he wrote this narrative about someone in court, like missionaries were like on trial in court. And the lawyer's like, what about this? And then the missionary would be like, if you'll turn to such and such scripture, you'll find that so-and-so says this. And it's sort of like this big, here's an argument, here's a rebuttal sort of thing in favor of the church.
Right.
So I had that printed out in like, it was like, I don't know, 200 printed pages.
Really?
And, I never actually like got through the whole thing, unfortunately, but it was interesting. So that's like somewhere in my closet. Still haven't like made it through. I think I like started to look through it one time, and I was like, and this was after I was home, by the way.
Right.
And I was like, this is kind of boring. Don't want to read this. Yeah, just like little weird talks. Oh, I had like the King Follett sermon from Joseph Smith. I read that on my mission. I like studied that.
Which one is that?
That's where Joseph Smith talks about how we can be, we can be gods basically, and how like God had a God before him, and God was once a man like we are now. He talks about all that stuff in the King Follett discourse or sermon or whatever. So I had that, and I had what was that other one? The Meaning of the Atonement by Cleon Skousen. Did you ever read that? I
don't think so.
That's a good one. I recommend that one.
That one gets pretty metaphysical, I assume.
Yeah, it gets kind of scientific. It's like it talks about that all matter has intelligence, and that is sort of the basis of all miracles. That Jesus he can command any. Like the ocean can part, mountains can move because there's simply intelligence is listening to their master. That's sort of the basic premise. It's very interesting. Check it out. And that's how the atonement works, is that like we can return to God based on all of the intelligence is sort of yielding their will to Jesus Christ, who made this like big sacrifice.
Right.
Sort of eliciting this sympathy for all intelligences. Very cool. So that was like my little unapproved library of things.
Right. I had a printout. It was called The Gospel of Thomas, I think.
Uh-huh.
Which I think someone was like, yeah, it's just part of the Apocrypha. But I haven't really ever been able to find it. Very good read. It was mostly focused. The idea is there's that scripture at the end of John where, Jesus is about to ascend again into heaven. He's like, any last questions, dear apostles? And it says they like talked to him for like days or something, or like a full day.
Yeah.
And he answered all their questions. One of their questions was, what's the angel of death? What's the deal with that? And it like goes into great depth.
The angel of death.
Yeah.
Cool.
The angel of death. The same angel that delivered up the mud when God made Adam.
Ooh.
And so that's why they were cursed / assigned to become the angel of death, is because they helped. It had a very Catholic mythology to it.
Yeah.
I really liked it. Because they brought the earth to God to make Adam, they were now tied in with Adam as being the one that has to remove spirits from bodies when the people die.
Ooh. Interesting. There's that one, is that the one where, that apocryphal story where like Jesus turns like a piece of clay into a pigeon or something and it flies away? You ever heard that?
I haven't heard that one.
When he's like a kid. He's like a little baby or a toddler. And he's like turning rocks into birds.
Neat.
Using his God powers to create life. Oh my goodness.
Haven't heard that one.
Got a frog in my throat.
But yeah, the Gospel of Thomas, it explains why Lucifer hates us.
Why does he hate us?
Well, he's very upset that Michael got to be the first man. That's his younger brother.
Right.
So he'll always, acquiesce to Jesus, his elder brother.
Yeah.
But he hates Michael, Adam, his younger brother. And we're all the spawn of Adam.
We are.
So he's just trying to ruin us.
Also, he wanted God's power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also that.
Which is my honor. Oh, that's another thing in that meaning of the atonement. They talk about the source of God's power, which is his honor. The fact that people honor, that the intelligences listen to God, that's the source of God's power, which is like, whoa. Because he uses the example of like a bishop. A good bishop has a ward of people who like kind of listen to what he says. Actually do the home teaching, back when that was a thing. No longer. Have you had any experience with this new thing? We're all coughing over here. Coughing stories. Ministering. Have you ministered at all to anybody?
Oh, yeah, of course.
You have? Okay, good. How did that go?
It's just like home teaching.
Just like home teaching. But better. Very good. Glad to hear. I do kind of want to... you had like a couple of little stories you wanted to share. I remember you said.
Oh yeah, best mission prank.
The best mission prank.
Yeah, and you were a hardline serious missionary. So no pranks for you.
No pranks that were like that took any time away from proselyting. None of that. None of that hogwash.
Okay. Well, this was I consider this my best prank.
Okay.
When I got my new companion, Crazy Tony, the crazy one.
Yeah.
So previously in our little apartment complex, it was the strangest thing. There were these two guys, Nate and Remy, also two guys in their 20s, and they noticed, hey, look at those guys, two young guys in their 20s, also living in this apartment complex. They're like, let's go say hi to them. So they literally like knock on our door at like 9 p.m. We open it. There they are. They hand us like a case of RC Cola. And we're like, thank you.
Thanks.
And they're like, want to be friends? And we're all like, all right.
Yeah.
So it turns out they were just two buds from South Carolina. And their friend's brother moved to Arizona to start a church.
To start a church?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they're like, we too will move to Arizona to support him in his ministry.
Right.
And so they get to Arizona, and it's like a little adventure for them. They're just there to help out with this guy's new church.
Yeah.
And they're just like, wait, what are Mormons?
Huh? What?
Why?
Why?
What are Mormons and why are there so many here?
Yeah.
And we're like, we have some answers for you. So we used to just hang out with them all the time, get some free lessons, a little back and forth.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
They talk about
some RC Cola.
I think they were evangelical Christians. I don't know. They had a lot of fancy terms for what they were and what they believed. It's where I learned about Calvinism.
Yeah.
And how they hated Calvinism.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what it is, and I don't have any strong opinions, because I only have strong opinions about one thing. Because I'm a missionary.
The one true faith.
And so it was great. Remy actually started dating a Mormon girl. We went to church.
Very nice.
Gave us our feedback. We're like, how'd you like sacrament meeting? He's like, there wasn't enough praising of Jesus. I was like, okay, yeah, fair. Sure. He's like, I would have preferred more praising of Jesus. He's like, I was surprised. He's like, I thought you guys would be praising Joseph Smith.
Yeah.
He's like, there was none of that. I was pleased.
It's a good thing they didn't sing praise to the man.
Yeah, that would have thrown him off.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, fair. I'll send that up the flagpole.
Yeah.
More praising of Jesus. Not just talking about him.
Praise him.
Praises.
Give him that praise he deserves.
Yeah.
He is our savior after all.
So that was his feat. He did not get baptized. But here's what I did.
Did you break up with that girl?
I don't think I was around long enough. You know, missionary, so transient.
Transient, yeah.
But here's what we did. So I get a new companion. And I explained to him, like, this is what happens with missionaries. Like, Elder Fryer's going away. You'll never see him again. Even though he's your friend now. He's gone.
He's gone.
We're going to get a new one.
You got a new friend.
But I told him, I was like, this is what we're going to do. I was like, with my new companion, we're going to move him into your apartment. And I'm going to tell him that for the church to save money and to spread the gospel, we now live with non-members.
Oh, man.
Because at the time, this is when they started like having missionaries live with members.
Yeah.
Sounds like you were well into that.
Yeah, I lived with a lot of members.
So they didn't start doing that until like the second half of my mission.
Okay.
They're like, wait a second, this state is full of Mormons. Let's just have the missionaries live with them to save money.
Yeah.
So yeah, my thing was like, we're living with non-members in this 1-bedroom apartment to save money.
Yeah.
And so I like, when our like person that gives us a ride back from transfer meeting, I'm like, pull up in the second entrance. He's like, what? I'm like, just do it. I was like, just don't worry about it. And I'm like, all right, Elder, here's our apartment. And we just like move all his stuff into Nate and Remy's apartment. And they're like, yeah, so Elder Nagels takes the futon. Remy and Nate, they share the bedroom. And you just sleep on the living room floor. And he's just like, cool. He's like, this is good. So he's like just getting to meet them, introduce them. He's like, this is sweet. This is awesome. And then it's like, all right, we got to go to the library to do our emails. And I'm just like giddy. I'm like, I have fooled him. And then we get back from emailing, drop it off. And then we're like, okay, we got to go to like our dinner appointment, got to do all our appointments at night.
Yeah.
And then when we're coming back in for the night, and like, we're like, all right, pulling up to the apartment. And like Remy comes outside. He's just like, man, let's keep this going. Stay the night. Like, let's just do this like forever. He's like, let's see how long we can do this. And I'm like, and I was like, I will actually get in a lot of trouble if we like spend the night in your apartment. Yeah. So I was like, the gig's up. And so then we tell him, we're like, yeah, we don't actually live here. We live in an apartment just across the way. And he's like, oh, okay.
And he felt like a fool.
Yeah, I don't think he cared that he got tricked. I think he was legitimately disappointed when he didn't get to live with these guys anymore.
Yeah. Was it fun? It seemed kind of fun, I bet.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why he was like, yeah, I sleep on the floor. Elder Nagels gets the futon. Yeah, like Remy was he was way into it. He's like, yeah, like look, and he was like dramatically unfolding the futon. Yeah, he was going a full out on the sales pitch.
He actually wanted you to stay over.
He was really invested in the prank, and I loved that.
Oh my god! So that's your bet. That's a pretty crazy prank. I'd be very upset if you did that to me. I would be so upset. I would not be as good as your companion was with that.
Well, that was the crazy guy. He was just legitimately crazy.
Oh, okay.
Like, this is the guy. Here's another story. This is what he did. Yeah. Just one time, part of being crazy is you don't sleep a lot. Mm-hmm. And so one time, I woke up in the morning. Remember, I was quite ill, so it was probably like 9 a.m. I wake up, and I don't even know where, how, what. But there was like pictures of President Obama. Because, he had like his little Hope campaign thing. Yeah. So this one was President Obama, but with the Joker's makeup. And I think instead of saying hope, it said obey or something.
Oh, okay.
And he had, in the middle of the night, gotten up and taped these to the door of every apartment in our complex.
Why? Why did he do this? Explain his...
Why? This is why I went insane when I was his companion. I was just like, why'd you do... I was like,
crazy.
where did
That would scare me.
I was like, it was scary. I was like, where did you get these? When did you do this? Why did you do this?
Were they color versions?
I think he had. I mean, he might have had an original that was color,
and that's expensive.
And the rest were all black and white.
And that he's going around to every apartment and just like,
and it's like, what's the message?
He needed tape. He needed copies. He needed tape. He needed. That's all, but those still.
Because it was always scary because no matter when I went to bed, he would always take the cell phone.
Yeah.
Like I'd plug it into charge and then he would like take it. Part of being crazy, and keep the cell phone with him. And so it kind of scared me that he would leave in the middle of the night to do things.
Yeah.
But I was so broken at the time and I was so sick that I was just like, you know what? I think I read in my journal, it said like, you were meant to suffer.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, he was crazy.
The closest I think I have to like an actual prank is like as a leader on the mission, like catching other missionaries in their misbehavior. Policing pranks.
You're like, you got punked.
So there's one time, this is when I was an assistant. I'm sorry to everyone for being that. But I was an assistant in and I was with my companion, and we had gone to Atlanta for a P-Day because we could do that. Not everyone could do that, but we were allowed to because we were the assistants. We
were made men.
We were made men. We could go wherever we wanted. So we went to Atlanta, and we went to the mall in downtown Atlanta. Just this really nice mall. And
you were allowed to go to the mall?
I don't know if we technically were, but we did.
Well, I mean, there was no one to stop you.
No one to stop us. Plus, we were the assistants. So we're like there in our, like, we're about to go play basketball clothing, you know, just like athletic. Yeah, like what you're wearing. Mickey Mouse pants. And so we, you know, I'm trying to think if we had our tags on or not. I don't think we did. Or maybe I made us wear our tags. I think that was like the
that's a rule.
Yeah.
You can't go out in public without them, even in your non-proselyting gear.
Nah, sometimes I think we would. I don't know.
Heathens.
Yeah. But I think I made us
wear. Oh no, we would always like keep them in our pocket in case the APs showed up.
Right. So we're like walking through the mall, and who do we see but a pair of other missionaries who live really close by us, who have no business being in Atlanta in this mall. And we just like, we walk up to them, we walk by, and we're just like, hey, elders, what's up? And they're like, oh, you know, nothing. And we're just like, you're not supposed to be here. You know that, right? Yeah. I'm like, all right. See you later. And then we went on our way.
They didn't even like...
They were highly embarrassed.
I would have gone deny.
Now these guys.
That's how I was taught my whole mission.
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh my gosh.
Are we outside of ours? I didn't even realize.
Like, what's the boundaries?
Huh?
Is it that road?
Am I?
Goodness gracious.
Are we in Atlanta? Huh? Who are we?
They're actually missions from like what is it? Macon?
The Macon, Georgia mission.
Not even in the right mission.
No, we knew these guys. So we like, as soon as, you know, of course we ratted on these guys because we're a couple of rats.
Snitches.
We're snitches. Did not need any stitches though for that. But, so that happened. I think the other good time that happened was when we just like.
Did they get Jew code?
What's a Jew code?
What's Jew code?
Jew code?
Oh, it's when someone gets demoted from senior or whatever position to a junior companion.
I honestly don't remember what happened to them. They just got a talking to, I remember.
Oh.
I just remember that.
That was always quite the mark of shame.
Yeah.
On our mission. when like a district leader suddenly became a junior companion. We're like, oh, that guy had a girlfriend.
He was dating the bishop's wife, that's for sure. No, so that happened. I don't know, that that happened a couple times. We're rounding up on an hour here. We could
Yeah, you know what topic we just breezed right over?
Which is that?
Our good friend Tim wanted to hear about mission romances.
That's true, yeah.
I think because I think that's
Should
a
we talk about
topic.
that?
That's a topic for
So we should get someone else to talk about that with us.
right, the post-surge missionaries.
Yeah. Why?
Because that's all they do now. I have one.
They just date girls and baptize them.
No, they just date sister missionaries.
Right.
Like I have one anonymous source, and I was like, "You're a post-surge missionary." I was like, "What was your mission like?"
Yeah.
With like the sister missionaries. And he's like, "It was like EFY for 2 years."
No way.
Yeah.
And you like just making out with chicks all the time.
Well, I don't know if that's what you do at EFY.
I never went to EFY. Did you ever go to EFY?
I went to EFY once.
Yeah.
When I was 16.
How was that?
It was strange. I mean, that's where I have.
I like how you describe it, actually. You have this really good description for it. Maybe you can share it with... I don't know if you remember what your description was. Please remember.
It was like... I can't remember what my comment when you first heard it and you like laughed forever. Because I said something in context.
It was... do you remember? Or should I just
It was something like, if I wanted to watch teenagers self-actualize their beliefs for a week or something.
That's the one. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. Because it was just such a... That's when I think that was like early on into our friendship too. And that was like a moment where I was like, this guy's funny. Because he breaks things down for exactly what they are.
Yeah.
Teenagers self-actualizing. It's great. EFY. My dad called it EFI, especially for idiots.
Hey.
Here's the thing. We had a best of EFY thing come to they did a fireside when we were in youth still, mutual, and that kind of thing. And we went to it, and the talks were like strange. They were weird. And like everyone was like, huh? What is going on? Like just seemingly inappropriate stories for like teenagers and kids, sort of like maybe more aimed for like young adults. But yeah, we were all just like, this guy's a weirdo. And so like on the way home, my dad's like, that was stupid. More like EFI, especially for idiots.
Zinger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it was my first like moment, because you're in like the Jack Simpson gym at the U of C.
Yeah.
They got the big old projectors, with a picture of Joseph Smith's face. There's just a gym with hundreds of kids wearing the exact same T-shirt.
Yeah.
Singing "Praise to the Man," and I was like, I took a step back and I was like, this doesn't look good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's a sobering moment.
But I just put my head down and
kept singing.
It was a good song.
It is a good song. Love it.
Didn't they combined it with like Army of Helaman or something?
Yeah. I kind of want to talk about this thing I wanted to talk about. Do we like just start recording it like a second episode right now and just like get into it, or what do you want to do?
It could become like the new side episodes, doctrinal discussions.
Sure, yeah. So maybe, yeah, that's another. Yeah, maybe we can.
Why don't we jump off onto a new doc?
Sure.
Because people jump off onto docs.
We'll jump off onto a dock.
We'll jump off this dock.
We'll jump off a dock.
Dock off the jump.
Jump off a dump. Yeah, I have some stuff I want to talk about, man. So like, it's we were wondering if we, So here's the thing.
What episode are we on right now? Is this 9 or 10?
I think this is 11.
11.
I think this is 11.
I'm losing count here.
You know what's funny?
We could do episode 11A and 11B.
Yeah. Here's what's funny. The talking stats for the shows and everything. I think we're around 900 or something like that. But the show that has the most listens of all time is the deleted episode where you talk about your times with
How is that possible?
I don't even know. People just like keep listening to it over and over and over again.
I thought the point of taking an episode down
was
is so that people can't listen to it.
I think it's just people who have downloaded it and it like monitors every time it gets listened to or played or something.
Are the people who have downloaded it just sharing it with people?
I think they might be. Yeah, dude, it was like it was 93 plays last month, I think.
Yeah, oh, geez.
That's nuts. That's so crazy.
They got 93 plays in a month that it's not even posted.
Yeah. So anyway,
well, hopefully my parents don't hear this.
They will. They listen to every episode now, don't
Yeah,
they?
they do. They listen.
Listen, I think it's fine.
Well, it's kind of, at this point, it's kind of like In-N-Out's secret menu.
Yeah.
People love it that they get to listen to the
Yeah.
episode that's not on the menu.
That's right. So I don't know if we turn this into 2 episodes, maybe this will be the part where we say goodbye for now, but maybe look forward to an episode coming up farther in the week. And just in case that is what we do, we'll give a little sign off. Lyndon, anything we want to plug?
Just Elizabeth Smart's new book.
Elizabeth Smart's new book. Hey, go to our website, themissionstoriespodcast.com. We're going to post the movie Mission Stories episode. It's a sketch. It's a funny little sketch that we made, and you can check it out there. Nathan Thompson thinks it's the story of a man's wandering into apostasy. I think it's a little more hopeful than that. I was trying to be hopeful. I was trying to be like, you know what? There aren't a lot of answers for some things. You just got to let some things go.
Just don't think about it.
Just don't think about it. Enjoy the good bits.
Well, I guess now everyone who's heard Nathan's analysis is going to have to go watch it, decide for themselves.
See for yourself, yeah. Check it out. Instagram. I was thinking we should have more. In the future, I do want to sort of pick back up on recording these, putting them on YouTube, and some clips on Instagram and that sort of thing. So look forward to that.
You can see my Mickey Mouse pants.
You can see, more visual medium. So anyway, we'll catch you in the next episode, and we love you. Any last words, Lyndon?
As always, stay true and faithful.
Stay true and faithful. Bye-bye, everybody.